ಸೌಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಚ್ಚದ. ಹಾಂ ಹಚ್ಚದ. ಓಕೆ.
Hello students, today I am going to explain about menstrual cycle. So in menstrual cycle, before doing introduction into menstrual cycle, I would like to introduce certain diagrams which you should know regarding the menstrual cycle. So here the events occurring will be ovarian events, or first say pituitary hormones. So what is the level of pituitary hormones? And then the level of ovarian hormones. Then what changes occur due to that? So pituitary hormones, you know that there are two main pituitary hormones. One is FSH and LH. So FSH whereas LH also. So this stands for hormonal levels of LH, and this stands for hormonal levels for FSH. And you know that these two hormones are nothing but pituitary hormones. And further, ovarian events will occur. Inside the ovary, what all of the changes occurring? Those all will be called ovarian events. Now, ovarian events, you know that first primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, and then finally what is formed is the Graafian follicle is formed. Now in around 14th day, there is a rupture of Graafian follicle and ovum is released. And then this leads to formation of corpus luteum that will slowly degenerate and form corpus albicans. Now these are the events. So the ovum was there in the primary follicle, secondary follicle, the tertiary follicle, as well as in the Graafian follicle also. That is, ovum was in secondary oocyte stage. Next hormone is ovarian hormones. Two ovarian hormones are there, estrogen and progesterone. So estrogen peak will be there in the mid also, and even after the ovulation. And progesterone will be very less throughout except for luteal And next will be the developments in uterine. That is, this was ovarian event, and this will be uterine events. What all changes will be occurring in uterine event? That is, development of endometrium. So endometrium becomes thicker and thicker as the menstrual cycle progresses. So during the first 5 days there is a phase of discharge, and of course the endometrium has its supply of blood vessels. And also it has uterine glands. Uterine glands also has. So this is about the just about the menstrual cycle. Now, how many days? From how many days does this menstrual cycle? This one, this horizontal in a horizontal axis, this representation. Number of days will be there. So starting with day 1 to day 3, say 5, like that. At the LH, 14 will be here. So next immediately 15 will be here. So 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. From here, 11, 13 comes here, 15 comes here. Then 17, 19, 21, 23, 25, 27 and 28. So total number of days for menstrual cycle will be 28 days. So therefore here hormonal level will be almost high in the 28 days. Then it will get down in the next cycle. That means the hormonal concentration will come down in the next cycle. So this is from day 1 to 28th day. In that, the most important day will be on 14th day, because during this day there is a release of secondary oocyte from the major Graafian follicle by a phenomena called ovulation. It means this is more in the 14th day. So I'll begin with giving introduction about menstrual cycle. So first, what is menstrual cycle? It is a reproductive cycle occurring in primates like monkeys, apes, humans. Whereas in other mammals, estrous cycle will be there instead of menstrual cycle. And the difference between these two were already explained in the first chapter. So it is nothing but reproductive cycle. And you should know it is a reproductive cycle occurring in primates, monkeys, apes, humans. Or you can tell it is a cyclically occurring event in the reproductive system in primates. Now whether in male or female, of course, this is the event that is occurring in female. So this was the definition of menstrual cycle. Total length of the menstrual cycle will be 28 days. In a normal individual, total length will be 28 days. But in some women, it may be less or it may be more, because it may be variable from one individual to another individual, but the average length of menstrual cycle is 28 days. Now these 28 days will be further divided into phases, which we will be studying afterwards. Now next, when do the menstrual cycle begins? Menstrual cycle begins in the females of primate. Okay, but now coming to human being, with reference to human being. In human being, menstrual cycle occur in puberty. Now in puberty, hormonal changes will occur. Hypothalamus will release GnRH, and that is going to stimulate pituitary to release FSH and LH. And these FSH and LH are called gonadotropins, and they are responsible for onset of puberty. And therefore, because of the influence of these hormones only, what starts is menstrual cycle begins in females. So when do menstrual cycle begin in female of humans is during puberty, and I also told that why the puberty will occur in humans. Everything is hormonally determined. So the year, which year usually the puberty onset will occur in female is around 12 to 15 years. So an average of 12 years it may also range up to 15 years. Okay. So therefore, menstrual cycle will begin in when a woman is, when the female is 12 years old. And from there onwards, we say that there is an onset of puberty. Now, what changes will occur? Changes in this reproductive cycle, what changes will occur? Remember that in menstrual cycle, changes will occur in ovary because follicular development occurs, follicular development stops, then corpus luteum forms, corpus albicans forms. These all changes will be occurring cyclically. So that will come under changes leading to which event? Ovarian events. So changes that include ovarian events. And changes that include uterus, that is uterine changes. That includes again which events? Events occurring in the uterus. So therefore, menstrual cycle involves both ovarian events as well as uterine events. Now, uterine events means changes occurring in uterus. Now, which part of the uterus is involved in changes occurring during menstrual cycle? In the previous class, I have told that there is outermost covering called perimetrium, and there is a middle covering of muscles, and the innermost covering that is made up of endometrium. So the innermost covering endometrial changes will occur during uterine. So it means all the three layers are not involved in changes during menstrual cycle. Okay, perimetrium is not involved, myometrium is not involved. Myometrium will be involved during punctuation. Whereas in a regular menstrual cycle, in a menstrual cycle events, it is the endometrium that undergoes changes. So this has to be known. That means uterine events when I say, it is which changes? Endometrial changes. So menstrual cycle involves endometrial changes. And also you should know that it has further divided into 4 phases, and the same cycle continues from the same similar kind of cycle repeats every month. Every 28 days amounts to one menstrual cycle. In the next month the same cycle events continue, and this keeps on continuing till the woman attains menopause. Menopause is nothing but cessation of menstrual cycle. During puberty, when she experiences the first menstruation and menstrual cycle difference, you should know. Menstrual cycle has 4 phases. In that first phase is phase of discharge, and that phase of discharge is called menstruation. So occurrence of first menstruation is called as menarche. And this will occur during puberty. During puberty, as the puberty onset occurs, what is the sign? Occurrence of first menstruation. And that the term used for occurrence of first menstruation, or you can tell, of course, menstrual cycle. Even all phases will occur after menstruation. All other phases also will occur. So therefore, occurrence of the first menstruation is called menarche. So when word menstruation is there, one should remember that there should be a discharge. That is nothing but the first phase of menstrual cycle. So these are some of the introductory terms, or some of the introduction to menstrual cycle. And you should know that menstrual cycle occurs in females of primates. So before explaining about the phases, broadly I will explain what the phases are. If you consider now day 1 here, from day 1 to day 28 will be the length of menstrual cycle, and the same continues in every month, and in every month for one menstrual cycle one ovum will be released in the 14th day of menstrual cycle. That's why we say it is an important event. In the 14th day there is a release of secondary oocyte from mature grafting follicle, which will be further fertilized by sperms. Okay, now here, if you consider this is the complete menstrual cycle, in that first 5 days, it is the first phase called menstrual phase. Okay, this is spanning from 1st to 5. And the next day, of course, will be 6th day, 6th day to 13th day, next phase, and then a short ovulatory phase will be here, and then followed by. So total, how you are knowing the phases is, first one is menstruation phase. This is called also called the first phase, and the second phase will be follicular phase, or also it is called as proliferative phase. And a very small a very small phase is there, and this phase is called as ovulatory phase, which will last very shortly, and this will be around the 14th day. And then after this will come, this is called ovulatory phase, and after this will come luteal phase. It is also called secretory phase. So comes phase 1, phase 2, this one, phase 3 and phase 4. Total 4 phases are there. In that, which is a key event occurring in day 14th. Understand? So the days before 14th can also be called pre-ovulatory phases. And those days that will come after the 14th day is called post-ovulatory phase. And you should know that post-ovulatory phase, which usually involves which phase? The 4th phase, that is luteal phase, is constant in human being. Whereas the before phases, they keep on varying. It means that if a woman has, instead of normal 28 days, if she has 30 days as a menstrual cycle length, or if she has 35 days, the length of post-ovulatory phase will never change. If at all it changes is those phases that are prior to the ovulation, that is pre-ovulatory phase. Now I mean to tell that luteal phase is constant. And when I say luteal phase is constant, now you will be able to calculate what will be the day of ovulation. So this is about the different phases of menstrual cycle. Okay. And you should know this first day can begin at any date depending upon a woman. Okay, it doesn't mean it has a, it is not a date, it is a day. So day 1 to day 5. Then day 6 to 13, 14th is which is important, and after 15th to 28th will be the luteal phases. So this was about introduction regarding menstrual cycle. Now explaining the different phases of menstrual cycle. The first phase is a menstrual phase. This is the first phase in menstruation. Now as you can see, from day 1 to day 5, the phase is considered to be menstrual phase. During these days, what is the uterine event? What is the fate of ovarian hormone? What happens to ovarian events? And what happens to pituitary hormones? This you can observe directly by seeing the diagram, that between first and fifth day, what are the changes occurring at different levels. So in menstruation phase, it is also called the phase of discharge. Phase of discharge, here the endometrium which is present, which has already grown in the uterus, it will break and that broken tissue is shed outside in the form of discharge. And this discharge is rich, and this discharge contains the dead endometrial tissues, cell debris, mucus, blood. These are the various composition of this discharge. Okay. So why the discharge occurs? Next, it is because of breakage of endometrium of the uterus. I already told that in a menstrual cycle, endometrial changes occur and not myometrium or perimetrium. So here, breakage of endometrium. Due to breakage of endometrium, what occurs is, what occurs due to breakage of endometrium? Discharge occurs due to breakage of endometrium. The question is, why the endometrium breaks? It is also determined hormonally. See, most of the menstrual cycle events are controlled by hormones. So therefore, which is the hormone that will, whose influence can cause breakage of endometrium? That means lack of which hormone can produce breakage of endometrium. Now consider this is the menstrual phase which is occurring here, and there is a discharge here. Before this phase will be which phase? The previous menstrual cycle's luteal phase will be this side. Okay. So that time the endometrium have got very thickened. So the endometrium has got thickened here. So when endometrium has got thickened, the hormone that maintains this endometrium is called as progesterone, which is a key hormone, because of lack of which what occurs is menstruation phase occurs. Now which is this hormone? The hormone responsible for the discharge will be reduction in progesterone. Okay. So it means that there is a decrease in concentration of which hormone? Progesterone. And also you should know that there is a decrease in estrogen also. But out of that, for discharge which is important is progesterone. Now this is both are steroid hormones. Now progesterone, what is its main function is? Progesterone will maintain endometrium. Now you see previously the endometrium has grown very thick in the previous phase of the previous cycle. The endometrium has grown very thick. Now it is maintained in a thickened state by which hormone? Progesterone. But now that hormone concentration is getting reduced, means it cannot maintain the endometrium. That means its function will be lost. So since there is a reduction of progesterone, what cannot be maintained is endometrium cannot be maintained. When endometrium cannot be maintained, it will break. Understand? And when it breaks, it leads to discharge. So therefore, because the progesterone is at low levels, what happens is the endometrium breaks and leading to what? Menstruation. And you should know always that discharge is called menstruation, but discharge cannot be called menstrual cycle. So discharge is called as menstruation. So reduction in progesterone, reduction in estrogen also, but the discharge basically occurs due to reduction in progesterone. Now what is the amount of discharge that occurs in the woman? Amount of discharge may vary from 50 ml to 80 ml. This is the amount of discharge during the menstruation phase. So this completes. Okay, from which day to which day I already told? From day 1 to day 5. For how long it will last? It can be 3 days, 4 days or 5 days. Okay. But this phase will be occurring in either day 1 to day 5. So therefore, either day 1 to day 5. That is this is the region within this graphical representation what we get. Out of all these events, What is the uterine event? Discharge occurring. What is the fate of ovarian hormone? Progesterone is less, estrogen is less. What about ovarian events? Follicles are still in the process of developing only, but they are not developing still because FSH is less and LH is less. In the next phase, slowly they will develop. That is, after 5 days they start developing. So what about the pituitary hormones? Now, because what is the fate of pituitary hormone will be explained in the next phase. Obviously, when first 5 days slowly there is a decrease in progesterone as well as in this phase where there is a decrease in progesterone or estrogen, it will have a positive feedback inhibition, positive feedback mechanism on pituitary gland. As a result, what will it can increase in the next phase? The FSH and LH. So this was about the first phase called menstruation phase. Now what has happened in the menstruation phase? The priorly endometrium that has grown, that has got broken due to low concentration of, due to what? Due to low concentration of progesterone. Now one more thing you should know. Now this is suppose an endometrium. Now endometrium has actually two portions. Okay. The superficial one, and this is basal part. So stratum basalis and stratum functionalis it is called. The part of the endometrium that is shed is not the entire endometrium. It is only the superficial part, which is not permanent. It keeps on changing every month. But the permanent one, which will always be there in the uterus, is the basal part. Whereas the superficial part is functional part, which keeps on changing its thickness, keeps on shedding depending upon the hormonal concentration. So it means that here what is still left is a part of endometrium is still left, that is the basal part. Or you can tell it the permanent, it won't be shed out, it is the permanent part of endometrium. Now the second phase. So 1 to 5 days is over, the next day will be 6th day. And another phase, third phase will be here, 14th day. So 6th day to 13th day will be the next phase. So therefore that phase is called follicular phase. Follicular phase, because why? Because 6th and 13th follicular development will be occurring in the ovary. Parallelly, what will be developing in the uterus? Proliferation will be occurring. Cell division occurs and the endometrium becomes thicker and thicker. Therefore, follicular phase is also called proliferative phase. Many times it is called pre-ovulatory phase. It is also called pre-ovulatory phase because ovulation occurs here. This is very important event, reproductive event, because the release of ovum is occurring here. So that phenomenon is called ovulation. That is prior. The follicular phase is before the ovulation phase, so it is also called pre-ovulatory phase. Now you should know, if I say what is proliferative phase, which event it is, it's a uterine event or an ovarian event. Obviously, proliferative phase means it is a uterine event. When I tell follicular phase, it is which event? Ovarian event. It means that follicular development coincides with thickening of endometrium or coincides with proliferation in the uterus or endometrium. Therefore, the name is given the same. That means follicular phase in ovary is corresponding to the proliferative phase in the uterus. Okay, then what are the changes occurring during follicular phase? As the name suggests, just go back to the previous phase. I have told that there is a decrease in progesterone and there is a decrease in estrogen. That means in the previous phase, even in the follicular phase, there is a decrease in progesterone and decrease in estrogen. Their levels is less here. When their levels is less, they will not carry out a negative feedback inhibition, but they carry out positive feedback mechanism, where less concentration of estrogen and progesterone stimulates pituitary to release FSH and LH. So what happens between day 6 and 13th day? Slowly FSH and LH starts increasing in concentration, but they have not reached to the peak. They are increasing in concentration. So increasing FSH and LH. Why? Because of low levels of progesterone and estrogen. Because of low levels of progesterone and estrogen, it causes positive feedback mechanism regarding so that what is increased, gonadotropin expression is increased and FSH will be more, LH will be more. Now out of these two again, which hormone is useful for these events? Will be what? FSH, remember. Now FSH will start stimulating the development of primary follicle to secondary follicle, secondary to tertiary, tertiary to Graafian follicle. That means development of follicles occur during this phase. Development of follicles occur during this phase itself. Now correspondingly you see LH is increasing now, whereas estrogen and progesterone are less. And then here what happens in the uterus is, the cells of the endometrium, they start rapidly dividing. They start undergoing mitosis. And because this rapid mitosis can be called proliferation. And because of this proliferation, the endometrium becomes thicker and thicker. Then you see the endometrium after discharge, the endometrium becomes very thin. So the basal part is that. Now from the basal part itself, what grows? A new endometrium grows. The functional part, the superficial part. It will start growing and becoming thicker and thicker. This thickness of the endometrium is due to which hormone? It is neither due to FSH nor due to LH. It is due to a hormone called estrogen. Now you remember that FSH causes what? Development of primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle and Graafian follicle. And you should know that as the follicles develop, the granulosa cells will secrete what? Estrogen. And therefore, whose concentration starts increasing? The estrogen concentration starts increasing. Whereas this peak is called progesterone. So estrogen concentration starts increasing as the follicles start developing because the granulosa cells will secrete estrogen. Now as and when the estrogen concentration increases, then what also will become? The endometrium becomes thicker and thicker. That means growth of endometrium occurs in the uterus. So the third one is growth of endometrium. What do you mean by growth of endometrium? The endometrium becomes thicker and thicker because of hormone called estrogen released by follicles. Because of estrogen. Then during the thickness, what all happens? The blood vessels cell starts forming, then uterine gland starts forming, and the wall becomes thicker and thicker. That is the effect of estrogen. But remember, the main event occurring, of course, are these two. So hormones, main hormones will be FSH, LH, and LH has no role right now, but immediately after this phase, LH will have the main role as it reaches to the peak. So this was follicular phase. Next is very key event occurs in this phase, that is called as ovulatory phase. Based on this main event, broadly can be divided into pre-ovulatory as well as post-ovulatory phase. So now the next one will be ovulatory phase. Now in ovulatory phase, which occurs in the 14th day. So okay, you should know the previous phase, that is from day 6 to day 13th. The ovulatory phase usually occurs in 14th day of menstrual cycle. It is not between day 6 to 13. It is day to 6 to 13 was which one? Follicular phase. Now ovulatory phase, it will occur at day 14. Now what are those important points or which are events that occur in the ovulatory phase? So in the 14th day, what you can see, concentration of LH is the maximum compared to any other hormone. So concentration is so high, it is greater than FSH and greater than estrogen. So that means there is a sudden increase in LH hormone. This sudden increase in the concentration of LH hormone, which can be detected in the blood, it is called as LH surge. So that is the main thing occurring in ovulatory phase. It is called as LH surge. And you know why the LH surge occurs? That means it is again depends on the stimulatory effect over the pituitary gland. So LH surge means sudden increase in the concentration of LH. So what happens if the LH surge occurs? Now LH causes rupture of Graafian follicle. This Graafian follicle you are seeing here. So the LH will cause this rupture of Graafian follicle. And by this time, estrogen concentration is high. And what event will occur here? The endometrium continues to grow. As such, no special event occurs. That means ovulatory phase is more confined to which event? Ovarian event. Corresponding, no key changes will occur in uterine event. But whereas menstrual cycle event is the event associated with uterine event. But corresponding events are not so important in so menstruation is related to always uterine phase, whereas ovulation is related to ovulatory phases occurring only in the ovary. So ovulatory phase occurring only in the ovary and menstrual phase occurring only in the uterus. So let's what it does, Graafian follicle ruptures. Graafian follicle is going to rupture. Why does it rupture? Due to which hormone? LH hormone. That is due to increase in the concentration of LH. Now when Graafian follicle ruptures, it will release the secondary oocyte. It releases the oocyte. Many a times it can be referred as ovum, but very specifically to tell, you have to tell it as what? Secondary oocyte. So what is released is secondary oocyte released. this release of secondary oocyte after the rupture of Graafian follicle due to LH itself is called ovulation. So that is the key event. So ovulatory phase will not always occur at 14th day. In a normal woman whose menstrual cycle length is 28 days, then ovulation will occur at, if the total menstrual cycle will be more than 28 days, you have to calculate by using a clue, that is fixed luteal phase. So this is about ovulatory phase. And the next phase is, the last phase also it is what? The luteal phase. Luteal phase. Luteal phase corresponds to which phase in the uterine movement? It will be, which one? Secretory phase. It is also called post-ovulatory phase. It's also called post-ovulatory phase. Now luteal phase, also called secretory. Now what is luteal phase? See, Graafian follicle has released the ovum. Now leftover Graafian follicle, or you can tell remnant of Graafian follicle, that forms what is called corpus luteum. And corpus luteum produces a hormone called progesterone. So those events will be occurring. So Graafian follicle converts to, remnant of the Graafian follicle converts to corpus luteum. Now from which day to which day? 14th day is over now. 15th to 28th day. That is the last day of menstrual cycle. So 15th to 28th day will be the day of the phase. Okay, these days or phase is called as luteal phase. During this phase, remnant of Graafian follicle forms a temporary endocrine gland called corpus luteum. Graafian follicle forms corpus luteum. What makes the Graafian follicle to form corpus luteum is an important hormone here itself, which is the hormone LH. LH not only causes ovulation, it also causes formation of corpus luteum from Graafian follicles. Got? So remnant of Graafian follicle forms corpus luteum. Now you can see corpus luteum. As corpus luteum is formed, one hormone is increases in concentration, and that is progesterone. And here, after the peak of progesterone, so it should be from a little bit, what is formed is corpus albicans. Got? So here, corpus luteum produces a hormone called progesterone. Now progesterone, this hormone has some of the important functions like maintenance of endometrium, which I already told, and maintenance of pregnancy also is an important function of this hormones. So next is function of hormones called progesterone. Progesterone helps in maintenance of endometrium. If progesterone is less, what cannot be maintained? Endometrium cannot be maintained, so it will break. And progesterone is also responsible for maintenance of pregnancy. And if progesterone is less during pregnancy, this can also cause some, say in early stages, it can cause spontaneous abortions. And progesterone also further thickens the endometrium. That means already, first of all, already the endometrium has grown thick. Further completion occurs due to progesterone. So comes the three functions of progesterone. Maintain endometrium. Second, maintain pregnancy. Third, also helps in growth of endometrium. Growth in sense, basically, it will not initiate the growth. Already the endometrium has grown thick. It will further help in complete the growth of endometrium. So here, these are the functions of corpus luteum. So here what happens now? Ovulatory phase has occurred where ovum is going to be released from Graafian follicle. Then what happens? The endometrium becomes thicker and thicker, like this. With estrogen initially, then followed by progesterone. And this endometrium will be maintained as such only. It will not allow the endometrium to break. Progesterone will not allow this endometrium to break. Till when? Till there is fertilization. It means if this is the ovum, this ovum needs to be fertilized with sperm. Only then it will continue to maintain the endometrium. If suppose there is no fertilization or no pregnancy, you can tell, then what happens? Progesterone concentrate, corpus luteum will convert into another structure called corpus albicans. Then what happens? Progesterone concentration becomes less. When progesterone concentration becomes less, the endometrium cannot be maintained, so it will break, leading to again which phase? Menstrual phase. So this cycle keeps on continuing. Okay then. Another function of progesterone here. As I told that it will help in further growth of endometrium. It will also stimulate the secretion of uterine milk. Why it is called secretory phases? The uterine glands in the uterus will start secreting milk, uterine milk. Okay, which is basically not white in color, but it is a colorless fluid rich in nutrients, and it is called as uterine milk. And that effect also is brought about by progesterone. So here, uterine glands will secrete uterine milk. That means nutrient-rich fluid it is. Okay, that's why it's called as secretory phase. So these are some of the changes occurring during which phase? Luteal phase. Now tell me, luteal phase is which event? A phase related to which event? Ovarian event or uterine event? So luteal phase is related to ovarian event, because what is formed here? Corpus luteum is formed. Secretory phase is the glands start secreting uterine milk. That's why it's called as secretory phase. And of course, this phase will be after the ovulation, so it's called post-ovulatory phase. So now, it maintains, endometrium is maintained till what? Till the ovum is fertilized with sperm. If no fertilization, in this phase only, right? If no fertilization, if there is no fertilization, then corpus luteum will degenerate and change into one more structure called corpus albicans. A degenerated corpus luteum will form what corpus? Will degenerate and form corpus albicans. A degenerated corpus luteum is called corpus albicans. It cannot secrete progesterone, but only who can secrete progesterone? Corpus luteum. So therefore, if no fertilization occurs, then corpus luteum converts itself to corpus albicans, and corpus albicans will not secrete progesterone. Corpus luteum is yellow in color, whereas corpus albicans is white in color, it's more fibrous. So here, if no fertilization, corpus luteum is converting into corpus albicans. And then what happens? There will be a drop in progesterone. It means that when there is a drop in progesterone, what cannot be maintained? Endometrium cannot be maintained. When endometrium cannot be maintained, it will break down. And break can lead to the next phase, which will be from day 1 to day 5, menstrual phase. Okay, day 6 to day 13, follicular phase. 14th day, ovulatory phase. 15th to 28th will be luteal phase. So this was about menstrual cycle. So last will be a concept called menopause. When do menstrual cycle stop? Menstrual cycle stops when there is a stopping of menstrual cycle, or when there is a cessation of menstrual cycle. The phenomena is called as menopause. Menopause will occur in women between 45 to 50 years. Why do menstrual cycles stop? That is also controlled hormonally. It is because of less concentration of estrogen. In a woman who has attained a menopause, estrogen concentration will be less in her body. However, there is increase in FSH. So therefore, because of less estrogen concentration, other consequences will start appearing, that is osteoporosis. So less estrogen may lead to osteoporosis. Symptoms is menopause symptoms may include appearance of flash, lack of sleep, and all. Those are the signs of menopause. And therefore, you should know that menstrual cycle event will continue to occur from age 12 to age 45 to 50. After that, there is a cessation of menstrual cycle.